Yeah. Alright. Like that? Yeah. I thought that through days in advance. Okay. So, after 2 seasons in the first universe, we finally take our first steps into a brand new world. Ty, Davis, Matt, all of them are grown up, and that universe is completely thrown away. So we're introduced to a new world, a bit more realistic. It's supposed to be set in like a realistic world, and it does a pretty good job of showing it. In this universe, Digimon is a show, has games. The card game's a big thing there. Basically how it was here. And it's a hobby for most people. And we'll see that's how the 3 main characters got involved. We're going to be introduced to the new Goggle Boy, Takato, who is a avid fan of the series. He plays the cards, he collects the toys, he watches the show. And he even created his own Digimon. You know, a lot of us did that back when we were young, right? I know a lot of people still do that. So, one day, he's picking up his cards, and he notices that one of them is blue. So he slashes it through his little card scanner thing, and it turns into this. The D-Arc, or the new Digivice. So he's thinking it's like a whole dream, because, oh my god, a real Digivice, what's going on? So he takes it home with him, and he sets it down next to his drawings of his created Digimon. It scans the drawing, the data, everything he wrote about it, and it creates an egg. So the next day he tries to hunt the egg down, finds it, and his created Digimon comes to life. So we're introduced to Guilmon, who is the red dragon back there, who basically starts up as a baby. It's basically what he is in the beginning of the season. He's like a little child. He's always yay, he's easily amused by everything. He's cuddly, he tries to be cuddly. But he's not the only one that has a Digimon. We're introduced to 2 other people. We have Rika, who's the heartless hunter, who has Renamon, the yellow fox, to kill the Digimon coming into Earth known as wild ones, to make her stronger, because when Digimon die, their data can be absorbed, which becomes a recurring theme later on. And then Henry and his partner's Terriermon, which we've seen him before if you've seen the movies for 02. And they don't like fighting, and there's a whole reason for that later. So, like I said, this is supposed to be taking place in actuality, and it shows because Guilmon here is about the same size as Takato, so it's kind of hard to sneak that into your house, because he lives with his family. Obviously he's in elementary school, so he tries to hide him somewhere, and he puts him in like this little place in the park, which becomes a place of, they keep going back there because it becomes like the Tamers hideout place. And it becomes Guilmon's little home. He ends up digging and breaking the back of it open for no reason. I mean, he's got to keep himself busy somehow, right? And then he keeps running into Rika, who keeps trying to have Renamon fight Guilmon. Because that's how Rika and Renamon function. Their first thoughts are to attack it, kill it, absorb it, and just go. And Henry's the one who always jumps in and tries to stop the fighting, because he doesn't like fighting at all. So there's 3 different reasons, there's 3 different motives conflicting together, and it doesn't work out very well at the beginning. Although Henry and Takato become really good friends after like the first few episodes, because they're cool with one another. Henry's teaching Takato the ropes, and Guilmon and Terriermon are just they like hanging around each other. So eventually Rika kind of starts to realize what Henry's talking about. She begins to loosen up, and eventually she begins to treat Renamon like a a friend, partner more than a tool. So, okay, now they're all a group. They're not really a group until this happens, but I have to start talking about Hypnos, which is the government-run agency. Like I said, this is supposed to be based in real life, and the government's always going to try to stick their foot in. Hypnos is a government-run agency. Great. Government. And it's run by Yamaki, who's a bit of a dick. At the beginning, anyway. Because he wants every Digimon dead. He hates them. So he gets upset with Takato, Henry, and Rika real easily and wants them to step down. So, after a while, he creates this program called the Juggernaut, which is basically the program that destroys every Digimon on Earth. Well, in that general area they're in. And this backfires big time because it opens a big gateway between the two worlds. And this is where the first real Digimon enemy conflict comes in. We're introduced to the Devas, which are servants sent into the human world by a god. We'll know who the god is later, for an unknown reason. Each Deva is based off an animal off the Chinese zodiac. So there's a monkey, a dragon, rabbit, snake, dog. You should know. You know this stuff, hopefully. And at the beginning, we don't know why that makes sense. It's kind of showing up, blowing things up, and we don't know why. It's not until the horse and the sheep one come in that we know that they're being sent in by a god. So who is this god? Why is he sending them? Well, we find out later when the monkey, who's that creepy kid, reveals himself. Their mission is to grab Culumon, which is the little white cute thing, and take him back to the digital world. Why Culumon? Well, later on, I'll explain that later. So they have to go into the digital world to find him. We have Jeri following them. Jeri. That's going to be a fun explanation to get into later. And Takato's two idiot friends. I don't even remember their names. I don't want to remember their names. They annoyed me. So they all go, try to find Culumon, save him from the Devas. But let me backtrack for a little bit in the story. We have this random Digimon that keeps jumping around, and he's basically a troll. That's how I look at him. His name is Guilmon. He's a little purple nuisance who's disgusted with the three Digimon, who's with the Tamers. It's later revealed that he had partners and they kind of mistreated him, so he ran away, and he got upset at humans for it. And during the Devas saga, he ended up trying to fight the Devas to prove he was strong and get stronger. He was getting his butt handed to him. So he manages to find a way into the digital world. And why am I bringing this up? Because it'll be something later. So when they get there, the digital world, okay, yeah, I don't like the way they set up the digital world in Tamers. It's a very unstable mess. I like how it was set up in like Xros Wars and Adventure, but I don't like this Digiworld. It's a mess. The data streams, that could send you anywhere. And I don't know. It's like a big death trap. I don't like how they set it up. But they go there, and they're split up constantly. And they end up meeting a guy named Rio, and I'll get into Rio later. I brought him up in my 02 review. So he's pretty controversial and debated. He brings up a lot of arguments and stuff. But they find him, then they end up finding Culumon later after a few of the Devas died. And then we see that Guilmon is somehow digivolved due to the Devas. He becomes Belzamon, and his deal was we'll let you digivolve if you destroy those humans. Okay, so he goes hunts them down, kills Jeri's partner Leomon. Surprise, surprise, Leomon dies again. So she falls apart. Yeah. So then we're introduced to, like I said in my 02 review, just 02 is the beginning of a recurring thing that each new season introduces a new type of Digivolution. And here we're introduced to biomerging, which is basically the human merges with the Digimon to become stronger. And this happens for the first time when Guilmon and Takato fuse to become Gallantmon. And one amazing fight scene later, we are introduced to the god that they've been talking about the whole time, Culumon, one of the 4 sovereigns which rule over the 4 different corners of the digital world. The reason for kidnapping Culumon is because he's basically the power of Digivolution put into Digimon form. So the little guy's pretty powerful. And that's something Takato realized after a while, because every time their guys digivolved, he was there. In his old thing on his forehead glue. So he's like, we need him so we can all digivolve as high as we can to protect ourselves from this threat. Okay, so what's the threat? After Culumon tries to kill them, Azulongmon, which we saw in 02, who explained to Black or Greymon absolutely nothing. I'm not going back there. 02 can just go away. Who kicks Culumon in the face, saying, "No, stop." Digivolution is the reason why all this stuff's happening, and they're talking about stuff, and we don't know what's going on. So we're introduced to this thing called the D-Reaper, which it's based off a real-life computer virus. Look it up. There's probably something on the Digimon wiki. It's basically a virus that was created by the people who created Digimon. I have to go back and talk about that backstory. To get rid of any like unnecessary data. And when Digimon evolved, it evolved with them to try to like counteract them, I think. And Azulongmon noticed this, so he turned the power of Digivolution into a Digimon and set them free. So it ceased the evolution, hoping ceasing the evolving D-Reaper. So Azulongmon's like, okay, fine, Culumon, give us all your power to Digivolve. He does that, D-Reaper gets freed. The Sovereign said, okay, we can handle this, you go back to Earth. So they do that. And then it ends up on Earth. And somehow grasped itself onto Earth, went through its networks or something, and ended up on Earth. And it's flooding their city. And then this big mess of a war goes on between them, and they eventually kill him. Most of it has to do with Jeri. We'll get into her later, because she has a lot to do with the D-Reaper. And yada yada yada. Okay. Crappy overview of the story, but you get 10. Okay. So, before I go into the characters, I want to go over the whole backstory I was talking about with them when I said that there's people who created Digimon. In this universe, there's this group called the Wild Ones. Henry's dad is a part of them. That they created this artificial intelligence. For what reason, I don't know. I think it was just for fun, or they wanted to do something to help kids' imaginations or something. I can't remember the exact reasoning. But they created them, and their funding got stopped, so they created this virus to get rid of them. Well, eventually someone got a hold of the Digimon idea, and Digimon evolved to become like a game and everything. And the world that they put the little AI things in became the digital world, and the little AI creatures became the Digimon. And as they evolved, so did the virus that was meant to destroy the unnecessary data, which is the D-Reaper. So, see, it's this season very backstory heavy. It's kind of hard for me to go over everything because this review would take forever. I think a lot of you have seen Tamers because it's the most debated season, so I'm guessing a lot of people have seen it. So I don't think I really need to go over much more. It's a neat little idea. Sorry about that. So let me start going over the characters now. Okay, so Takato is the new Goggle Boy. He's a bit of a weenie. He's a weenie. That's how I looked at him. Even when he got stronger and when his development reached its peak and stuff, he still had the signs of a weenie. He cries a lot. He's overly worried. But when it's time for him to get serious, he gets serious. So I'll give him props on that one. His conversations with Guilmon are pretty funny. He really likes Jeri. When I say likes, I mean likes, if you know what I mean. So that's just kind of cool. He kind of ogles over her occasionally. Where else do I go with Takato? When Guilmon gets killed, he goes Thai and goes like enraged, and Mega Growlmon or War Growlmon turns into Digimon, which is it's basically a repeat of the Skull Greymon thing from Adventure, which was probably like his lowest point because he went insane. Like I said, he gets stronger as things go along, and he gets used to being the tamer thing and everything, but all in all, he's still a bit of a weenie. I'm okay with Takato. I'm not really all yes for this character. I'm not really giving him the bird either. He's okay. Guilmon is funny though, because he's like a child, and he gradually gets, you know, mature, but he's still like a kid at heart. So it's funny to see him like play around and like mess with butterflies and play with Terriermon and Culumon and everything. He's funny to watch. Now Henry, he's my favorite of the Tamers because he's like the most logical and reasonable one of the bunch. Like I explained Takato's backstory for when Guilmon showed up. Terriermon was actually from a game his dad got him, and he was watching Terriermon get killed or beat up and stuff, and it was kind of aching him. So he became kind of emotional and felt sorry for what Terriermon was going through, and he got a blue card, slashed it through his thing, and he got a green one. And it brought Terriermon from the game into real life. And because of that, seeing Terriermon fight and almost get killed and stuff, that's the reason why he doesn't want to fight, because he's afraid of what will happen. He practices, I forgot what kind of fighting style it is he practices. And it's kind of cool because it shows in Mega Gargomon, because Mega Gargomon, as you can tell, is like a heavy weapons Digimon, but he fights like hand to hand a lot. It was kind of a little cool. It kind of shows the connection between the human and Digimon when biomerging happens. He gradually gets, he loosens up and allows Terriermon to fight because he knows that needs to be done. I'm trying to really think of how Henry grew up aside from loosening up from the no fighting thing. When his sister got involved, he became really dickish to everybody. Kind of reminded me a bit of Matt and TK. I'm kind of drawing emptiness on Henry. Rika, like I said at the beginning, she started off as like a warrior. She wanted Renamon to get stronger than him. Basically, she's the second best Digimon player. like the twins that didn't want to share anything, so they kind of abused Digimon, and he left and got jealous of all the other Digimon, like Guilmon and them. So he gets in the Digiworld, became stronger with Beelzemon, killed Leomon, felt bad about it. So he went back home, found his partners again, and he became a big part of saving Jeri from the D-Reaper. He definitely evolved a lot. He became a troll to stubborn to a devil when he became Beelzemon to a hero. So I think he's the one who changed the most of anybody throughout Tamers. Culumon, I love Culumon. Especially in the Japanese version when he's just, I mean, I want to hug him. What can I say? He's adorable. I mean, you can't hate Culumon. You can't. And if you do, leave. Don't talk to me. I mean, he didn't go through any growth. He's just lovable. Okay. Oh gosh, now to the train wreck that is Jeri. Yeah, do I have to talk about her? Yes, because she's a pretty big part of the story. She starts off as just kind of like one of those background characters that Takato kind of has a crush on. And when she sees Guilmon, she becomes very, very interested in Digimon to the point where she buys cards for herself. So she begins to get overly hopeful that she'd become a tamer. So every Digimon that she basically ran across, she tried to become partners with, like Culumon. That was a funny little moment. She's like, Culumon, fight him, no! But then Leomon shows up. She begins chasing him everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And he's running away from her constantly. Oh man, that was funny to watch. And yeah, Leomon ends up becoming her Digimon. So now she feels happy that she has a partner Digimon, but she feels like she's not a very good tamer. So when they're in the Digiworld, you know, everything's going good. And then Beelzemon kills him, and then she goes insane. Her life just like cracks before her eyes, and she goes nuts. Crazy depression. She becomes, I mean, she's sitting on the ground holding her Digivice like this. Leomon, 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 Leomon. Okay, get over it. You're annoying me. And as I was saying, she became a nuisance. I mean, I can understand, yeah, her partner died, but come on, I think you're overacting a bit too much. So after the stuff with the D-Reaper being revealed and everything, she kind of walks off. And then when they find her again, her eyes are all creepy and everything, which is not really her. It's an agent of the D-Reaper who kind of like replaced her. The D-Reaper basically took her hostage, and it was feeding off of her emotions. So whenever the D-Reaper spoke, it talked in her voice, so it was really, really creepy. And like, so it was feeding off of her emotions. So, I mean, I don't really know how to go into that. When Culumon finally broke her free of it, the thing started to try to take her down or something. I think it tried to control her and eliminate her along with all the human Digimon, because that was the D-Reaper's goal. I'll get into the D-Reaper in a little bit. All in all, she was a roller coaster. She started off happy and then kind of drifted a little bit when she wanted a partner. Found Leomon, and then when she died, boom. And then she's down here for a long time, and then she gets better. Because Culumon basically becomes like her best friend. I think Culumon lives with her and stuff. I'm talking about the post-season stuff. I'll get into that when I go over Runaway Locomon. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about the movies too when I'm done with the series. I'm gonna be going. I'll be talking about the post-series stuff and Runaway Locomon. So, I mean, I know she was pretty plot-heavy, especially when you got to the Deer Reaper saga, but I could not stand this character. I mean, geez, even when she was happy and stuff, she just annoyed me. And I mean, I kind of give her leeway a little bit because she's very important to the plot, especially the very end. But still, she just annoyed me from beginning to end. I did not like Jeri at all. Oh, I got through that okay. Okay, so this D Reaper thing, like I said, it was basically a computer virus. Well, not really a virus, more of a program to delete unnecessary data. It came a mind of its own. It took Jeri, used her emotions to grow, and its goal was to eliminate humans and eliminate Digimon because it deemed everything unnecessary. It kept sending agents out to attack humans and everything. It had like a whole bunch of monsters and little drones and everything it was attacking. It was a very disturbing creature. Or it kind of, like my brother says, it reminds him of that invader from Toonami. If you can remember back that far, remember that big blob that took over Tom's ship and like ate metal and stuff. I mean, think about it, it does kind of look like that because it eats the Digimon data and stuff. It's a big red blob. So, I mean, I can see the comparison. It's a funny way to compare the D Reaper. It's like it's the intruder from Toonami. Um, how it was defeated was a bit lame in my opinion. They had like a gateway open up and they had Mega Gargomon like spin so fast where it reversed time and sucked it back into the Digi world or something. See, I don't know. Overall, I think that the D Reaper saga was too sci-fi-y for Digimon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, like I said, it makes more sense than the Oikawa stuff at the end of Zero Two. I mean, the story makes perfect sense. There's no things that confuse people. There's no like plot holes or anything. I personally don't think it's very Digimon-y. It feels way too like horror sci-fi-ish to be a Digimon thing. But that's me. There's a lot of people I know who love the D Reaper. And then there's a lot of people I know who think it's the worst thing ever. But then again, that's the vibe this whole season gets. Like I said, this season is highly debated upon. I know people who deem this the best season because of how dark it is and the story is good and everything, and they love the real life aspect of it. And then I know people who think this is the thing that ruined Digimon next to the evolution style and Frontier. Ugh. That's for next video though, but they can't stand the D Reaper. They can't stand the biomerging thing, and they don't like the real life aspects of it. So I mean, it's one of those seasons where either you really love it or you really hate it, and there's a war going on between those two sides. Trust me, I've seen a lot of comment rage battles on these YouTube videos involving tamers where people like get onto each other's necks about this season. I'm surprised someone hasn't killed somebody else for this yet. It's ugly to watch seeing two people like chew each other out over this season. Like, is it good? Is it bad? I mean, come on. People have your opinions, but you don't need to go threatening people's lives over it. So what do I think? What do I think of Tamers? It's in the middle for me. I have it 4 on my list. Like I said, the beginning when they're hunting down like the wild ones and The whole Devas saga up until they hit the Digiworld was great. It was definitely the best part of Tamers for me. The music is, I love the music. Biggest Dreamer is probably my favorite intro song in the entire series. Slash, the Card Slash song, which I played at the beginning of the video, is like my favorite background music song to come out of this season. A lot of the characters are cool. I mean, Guilmon, Terriermon, Entmon, Culumon are my favorite things to come out of Tamers. Takato is Rika, Henry, I'm okay with him. And I'm kind of blah about the humans in this series. Kenta and Kazuya, Takato's two friends I didn't even bother going over. I don't like them. I don't like Susie. I don't like Jeri. Like I said, I'm kind of indifferent about Henry, Takato, and Rika. Renamon, okay, I guess. I don't really care about Renamon all that much. But I do like the real life aspects of it. It made the season real interesting to watch. Like I said, I don't like how they designed the Digiworld in the season. It was way too chaotic for me to like its design. And like I said, the whole D-Reaper saga, I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't hate it. There's nothing wrong with it. I personally don't think it's Digimon-y. I think it's too, like, sci-fi-ish. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate when I go over Sabers saying that I think that the whole Royal Knight, Yggdrasil, giant gateway in the hole between the two worlds thing is more Digimon-y than the D-Reaper saga. But that's how I look at it. And I'll get over that when I hit Sabers. Like I said, all in all, it's in the middle of my list. It's fourth on my list. And that's all I got about to say about Tamers. Stop with the flame wars and arguments about this season, please. I'm getting sick of going to a video about Tamers, like an AMV and stuff, and I see someone say, "Oh, Tamers sucked," and then someone would be like, "Oh, Tamers is amazing," and then you got like 3 pages of 2 people cussing each other out over this. Ugh. Stop it. Just stop it. I mean, I can understand why people like the season. I can understand why people dislike the season, but don't go ripping people's heads off about it. Gee whiz. There's a limit. A lot of you people are crossing it. Alright. That's a rant video. I'm not doing that. Alright. So now we're done with the most debated season. Now we're probably going to be jumping into the most controversial season. Frontier. Oh boy. This is kind of like Tamers. It's on the top of a lot of people's lists, and it's on the bottom of a lot of people's lists. And it's kind of disliked for different reasons than Tamers. This one's going to be interesting for me to talk about. Alright, well, get your detectors ready for my next video. I'll be talking about Frontier next time. Alright, catch out.